Good evening. My name is John Sturmer. I actually live in Stratford, 180 Salem Road in Stratford, Connecticut. I do, however, teach in town. I'm an NRA certified firearms instructor. I found out about this proposed ordinance a couple hours ago. Came up here from Stanford to be here, and I hope that you all will give me your attention on this matter. I really, after everything that's been going on the last few months, ever since Sandy Hook, that people have been talking about, the laws that have been passed, I really have to wonder what this board hopes to accomplish by passing yet more firearms restrictions. I don't understand it. I don't get it. If any of you have never been trained in the use of firearms, please call me. I'll give you my name and number. I'll teach you for nothing. If you understood how they work, then you would understand that an ordinance like this will be completely ineffective. It will not work. We talk about high-capacity magazine bans. Well, you know, I can only carry, and I did the same thing the other gentleman did. I disarmed myself before I came in here. They're going to tell me I can have a 15-round magazine with only 10 rounds in it. You think a criminal's going to do that? Does anyone think a criminal's going to do that? Is that even sensible? You're going to go commit murder, and you're going to worry about how many rounds are in your magazine? I have to say I don't understand it. Okay, the state just passed about the most restrictive firearms law in the country. One that nobody understands, by the way. Instructors, shop owners, even police officers. We sit here and we talk about it and say, well, what about this? What about that? It's a law that they push through. That doesn't make any sense. And now you want to add another law, another ordinance, which, by the way, just so everyone knows, has no criminal sanction. It's a town ordinance. It's a civil matter. It has nothing to do with criminal law whatsoever. I mean, I just, as you can see, I took off my gun before I came in here, out of respect for you and this process, and I don't even know whether an ordinance exists in this town to prevent me from carrying it here. So, to be cautious, I left it at home. You think a guy intent on shooting this place up would have done that? And what have you done? You've taken a guy like me, a professional, and probably a number of other professionals here in the room. You've taken away our ability to defend ourselves and all of you. And I just want this board to ask themselves, does this in some way, shape, or form make sense? Moving on from that, what I really find, what I really wonder about in all my classes when I start teaching, I ask people, you know, I usually walk in, I'm usually wearing a gun, it's usually empty, well it's always empty because I can't have live ammo in the classroom. It's empty, and I ask, who's nervous? Sometimes I get a couple of hands go up. Yeah, well, I'm a little nervous. Well, why? Well, I've never been around a gun before. Okay, that's understandable. But the bottom line is what they eventually come around to learn is they're not afraid of that tool, that piece of hardware on my head. They're worried about the person. They know I'm a professional, I'm wearing a uniform. I'm wearing a shirt that says instructor. That calms them down a little bit. You have to understand, the people that lawfully own and carry firearms in the state of Connecticut have gone through an extensive series of background checks. Every time we buy a gun, and a number of us have quite a few of them, we get checked. You really have very little to fear from us. And the people who do it illegally, well, I can tell you this ordinance is not going to stop that. So, once again, I encourage you to please give me a call. I'll leave my phone number here if anybody wants to get in touch with me. If any of you want to come in and sit in on one of my classes, you're more than welcome to. I welcome it. I encourage it. Please learn about what you seek to regulate before you do it. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good night. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir.